Hello and welcome back. My dogs are getting energetic again. Or more of my sister's puppy.
Oh, that's my ankles! You don't want to be in the fridge. You want?
Yes.
You can't have these. These contain chocolate, not good for dogs.
Just give them all here.
Those are my ankles! My bed! Get off!
Oh, hey, Mushroom. More dirt? Nice. Should I jinx it? It's gotten awfully quiet. Hopefully that doesn't come to bite me in the ass. I didn't start my timer. Because I'm a professional. That's a lot of dirt. Ow! That's my toe! Little toe biter. How dare you? Lapis! Oh no. It's a water cave. No. All mine now? Oh, you made it look pretty. I have many eclairs. I am happy.
One, two, or three?
Two.
Oh, do you want some water? Do you want some clean water? Do you want some clean water?
Mm-hmm. Energetic balls of chaos.
Huh?
Energetic balls of chaos.
And flip everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
See how happy they are.
It's so dark. Why did you do it like that?
It's easier this way. What do you mean?
Actually, I think that's what they're designed for.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. There's a puppy pile on the floor and it's adorable. That's gonna be a mess. Do you think my pit is deep enough yet? The answer is no. It's been a while since I've heard the grumbles. Okay. No. Is there a source for the grumbles? Actually, you know what? This would be a great time to tell ghost stories. And then I get to scare myself more for being stupid. Seems like a fair trade. So, I have a lot of weird things that have kind of just happened that I don't have an explanation for. I also have like a weird collection of things that they literally are like the setup for a horror movie, I swear. It's freaking funny actually. Ow! That's my foot! Ow! Brat dog? Okay. Anyway. So I have a weird collection of things that the origin of like how I came to have them would be the start of a horror movie. I'm finishing my last Eclair. Give me a minute. So the first is I've had it for like maybe about 10 years. So my mom, she was an interesting cookie and just had a habit of finding things. She would like look on places like Facebook Marketplace. Other times she would just be like, "Oh, I got it from a friend." And there would never be any other explanation given other than, "Okay, that doesn't really answer my question as to how you got it." Ooh. You good, Dugadugs? Give me a second, my dogs are being dinguses. What are you digging through? What are you digging through? What are you digging through, Shorty? There's my hair. Okay. You want more toys? I can throw some like tennis balls and stuff around. You guys can play with. Alrighty. I don't know what they were playing with, but it sounded like plastic. Couldn't find it though. Probably shoved it way under the bed where I can't reach it. Which also means they're not going to eat it, that they're just going to hoard it. Which is fine. Anyway, so my mom had a habit of just finding random shit out of, like, freaking nowhere. So there's a lot of things that we just have that just appeared. She also, half the time, wouldn't tell us when she got things or found things for us. They would just suddenly be with our stuff. It's like, when did we have this? And it's like, oh, you've had that for however long. It's like, what? How and when? And why and where and all of these other questions that never got answered. Among them was I have a card to the Satanic Temple. I don't know if we even have a Satanic Temple in Wyoming, and if we do, I definitely have never been there. But she just one day brought me this card and was like, "Oh, here, this is my friend's." Hello? That is a very loud and very long groan, okay? And so, just randomly, in my pile of nonsense knickknacks, I have a card to the Satanic Temple. Just because my mom's like, "Oh, this is cool, here you go." And the only explanation I ever got was, "Oh, this was my friend's, and I got it from a friend." I'm like, that leaves way too many questions unanswered. I guess we'll move on to ghost stories. So, one of my most terrifying memories, and the reason it's terrifying is no one else remembers it, so I'm not even sure if it's an actual memory or if it's just a crazy, insane dream I had or what, but when I was like 5 or 6 years old, we had gone camping. And we have this camper out on like a family friend's property. It's run down, we haven't been there in years. Anyway, the basic layout is you go through the door, and on one side there is a kitchen that can fold down into like a bedroom. Ooh. Good timing for ghost stories, I guess. And so my parents would always put a blow-up bed like on the folded down like kitchen table and stuff. On the other way is this small hallway. On one side there is a like seat, and above that is a fold down bunk bed. And on the other side there's counters and then another fold down bunk bed. And at the far end there's the bathroom. And so for whatever reason, I didn't want to sleep in any of the beds. And so we just threw, or more accurately, I just threw a bunch of blankets and pillows on the floor and just slept on the floor in that little hallway space. And in the middle of the night, I wake up, everything's dark, and all of the lights in the camper are just flickering. And she wasn't staring at me per se, but just my rough, like, where I was sitting. My mom is, "Oh, get that out of your mouth! You can't eat the cup! How did you get that? Give me that! Give me that, Shorty! How did you get this? You can't eat this! That's not food! No! Down the hallway! Whoop! Hi, Shorty! I found what they were chewing on. It was a cup. I don't even know how they got it. Anyway, so all the lights are flashing, and my mom is sitting up on the blow-up bed, just like facing the rough direction of the hallway where I happen to be sleeping. So she wasn't necessarily staring at me, just facing that direction. And she keeps muttering and murmuring quietly to herself about Trace. So, as like background information, this camper originally was bought by a family friend for my older siblings. This older friend was Trace, and the only thing I knew about him is that when I was like 4, he had died. And so the only thing I knew was all these stories of this family friend that passed away. So my mom is just sitting there quietly muttering and murmuring to herself about Trace, saying he's talking to her. Trace is saying hello. Trace is talking to her as all of the lights are flickering. And she didn't remember a single thing. Like, I brought it up to her several times and she's like, that never happened. Like, what the? And so I don't even know if it actually happened or if it was a crazy ass dream. But it is one of, like, my most terrifying memories. The next is we used to live in, like, the downstairs. It was technically just the basement of this pretty large house that was also owned by a family friend. So he owned the whole house and then just let us live in the basement for years. And so the basic layout that's kind of important for this story is you enter the main, like, front door by going downstairs. So you would go around outside and you would go downstairs. And then there'd be a pretty decent sized living room. And there wasn't an actual door, just like a doorway into this very tiny kitchen that, like, barely two, maybe three people could fit comfortably. And with everything we put in there, like, we managed to squeeze a tiny table, some counters. Like, there's maybe room for one or two people to actually stand in there without squishing each other. This is a very, very tiny kitchen. And then as soon as you go from the kitchen, if you turned immediately right, there would be this hallway that, once again, immediately right would be my parents' room. So immediate right, there's a door. And then to the left, down that hallway, you go down a ways, and then there's the bathroom, and at the far end was my little sister's room. I slept in the living room. I still do. The living room is mine. I've claimed it. Anyway, so one night, my mom was a drunk. Like, she was an alcoholic. She would regularly drink and drunk off her ass. So one night, she's just not having a good night. And she was going over all these stories of, like, family friends and family members that she had lost over the years, and was basically just telling me all these stories. And it was like 3 in the morning. I had school the next day, so my dad had come out of his bedroom and we were in the kitchen. So there was this tiny table, and the chair I was sitting in had its back to that hallway. And then my mom was sitting in a chair next to this table facing her back to the living room. And so on my right side, it was literally like this. So back here would be the hallway right behind me, and there was a wall right here, and here would be the table. So I heard him, like, walk out, and he's like, hey, you should get to bed, you have school, and all of this stuff. And I didn't end up going to bed. Well, I did eventually, but I just stayed up with my mom listening to more stories. And at first I thought it was my dad coming out to, like, tell me to go to bed again. But from the far end of that hallway, where my little sister's room was, I heard distinct footsteps walk all the way up that hallway and turn, and I literally felt as if there was someone standing right next to me. So I was literally blocked in. There's someone standing there, there's a table in front of me, there's a wall next to me, so I shove myself in this little corner as much as I can between the table and the wall, because I don't know what it is, I can't see it, I just feel that there is something right next to me, that there is someone or something standing right there. And of course, so my mom, like, she believed in angels and all that. I do to some extent as well. Believe in, like, afterlife and all that. But she's drunk off her butt, telling me stories of all of these past loved ones, and I tell her that there is something standing next to me. And so her brain immediately goes to, that's grandma. So she's like, oh, it's fine. That's just grandma. Grandma's saying hi. I'm like, that doesn't make it better. I don't think it is. I still don't believe that whatever it was my grandmother, even if it was. Terrifying as hell. Because I literally shoved myself in this tiny corner, unable to get away because there was some unseen thing just standing there. So I was terrified out of my mind, and of course my mom isn't helping because she's trying to comfort me by saying it. Oh, it's just grandma. Your deceased grandmother is just standing, pinning you into a corner, saying hello. That's how her ghostly form says hello now. Like, what? How is that supposed to help me in this moment? Anyway, I stopped the timer, but we are going to call it here. Thank you for joining me. Hope you have a lovely day, and farewell.